This is a 1080 Ti that I found online, actually on wish.com, and I'm actually going to go through and buy this. I think that it would be a relatively good video if I at least get something in the mail. My 40 bucks I'll probably never see again, and I will bet a good bit of money that it's not actually a 1080 Ti. I bet we won't even get the box. But as you can see, Nvidia Geforce GTX 1080 Ti, brand new, supports graphics card firefighting. I think that's supposed to be crossfire, and I don't think that's I don't think that works on Nvidia. But as you can see, it looks like it's good, so we'll go ahead and buy one.
Guess what just came in the mail? I actually supposed to come, I think, a month and a half ago, and it was originally just supposed to be 2 weeks, and here it is. So this video I thought was just originally going to be a scam and just move on. So let's open it up. I don't have my keys on me. Let me find some scissors. Okay, I'm just not gonna lie here. This looks a little sketchy. Here's the size of a regular graphics card, just a regular graphics card. Yeah, that's about the same size as the Founders Edition, do I mind you? And yeah, it covers the whole box's size. I will say though that it looks like it's some type of heat sink. Actually, it says it right on the side here. Oh boy, hey, there's at least a graphics card. There's a graphics card, everybody. Oh boy. We at least got something along with the heatsink. I present you a 1080 Ti. And in case you guys can't tell, I don't think this is one. But to determine the level and complexity of my $40 going to waste, let's try to figure out what this is first, and then actually might try throwing it in a computer, see if it even works. Then we'll try to go through and test it, see if I can play games on it. I might have to flash the BIOS or something if that's possible. And then another level on top of that, we'll try to figure out, break down the price this would cost actually to make, rather than just having a simple card itself. How much does each of these parts cost? This looks like a pretty decent heatsink, I'm not gonna lie. But let's take a look, see what happens when we throw it in the system.
So it's running now, and it's posting. As you can see, we got the cable from there coming out of the questionable graphics card, going all the way down and up into the monitor right there. And it's booting into Windows. No way. Okay, let's see what kind of graphics card this is. Ooh, what do you know? It's loaded up. And what is the graphics card according to this? The Nvidia Geforce GTX 1080. I thought I paid for a 1080 Ti. Come on. This was supposed to be a 1080 Ti, and I get a 1080? And I'll even bet money that this 1080 isn't really a 1080. So, we have a Nvidia Geforce GTX 1080, and I do not think that that is actually what it is. So let's go through and try to install the drivers. So I've installed some drivers. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, it's actually installing. It's installing. Oh, it crashed. It looked like it was trying to restart. I don't know what happened. It just died. Uh-oh. Well, this doesn't look too promising. Let's get some system information, shall we? Let's do actually a device manager. What does this look like? Let's just quickly hop out of Steam. Let's see what device manager says. I have a feeling this is ended badly, if not quite horribly, and that's not the drivers that I was working on. Let's see. Device manager. What do we say? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Uh-oh. That don't look too promising, guys. That does not look too promising. Let's see if we can zoom in there so you guys can completely understand the bad part there. That is Microsoft Basic Display Adapter, not a 1080 Ti, not a 1080 Ti, not a 1080. So now let's figure out what exactly this card is. So this is gonna take some tearing down of the actual card.
So, a few couple things to point out. I've cleared away the thermal paste, which I mention, the thermal application, paste application is borderline quite poor. I don't know if you can see this. The cooler itself actually looks like to be somewhat decent. So, when you Google the name of the die, which G92 something, it looks like it is a GeForce GT 7800, which is even worse than some of the actually, I think this is the worst card that I've ever had. So this is by far almost 15 years old. So this card is almost 15 years old. I think it comes with half a gigabyte or even 256 megabytes of RAM, and it's DDR3. So this RAM is by no means, this card is by no means any bit powerful. The die itself is quite poor, and for something that came out, what, 15 years ago, this is quite, I don't know, insane is the right word. It's just, I don't know, impressively crazy. So let's try to figure out what this cooler is, because I'm more actually interested in the cooler, because I think the cooler actually might be worth more than the card itself. So according to what I've been able to find on the internet, the closest thing is the Thermalright HR03 GT VGA cooler. This guy, with its 4 heat pipes, not 6, but still, it's supposedly is supposed to come with 2 fans, one on the top, one on the bottom. They're supposed to allow for you to cool this both passively and non-passively. So surprise there. But overall, a solid cooler, and this looks like it probably retails for about 10 bucks. So my guess is, and looking over this, is that this card roughly retails for 5 to 7 bucks, and you've got a card, this probably retails for what? I probably got a bunch of these because they had the boxes. So I'd say probably what, 5 bucks, 7 bucks, and what do you have here, 5, 7 bucks. So 14 bucks overall, 15 bucks we'll just say for a round number. And this 15 bucks right here versus my 40 bucks, that leaves almost what, 25 bucks worth of profit that they probably made off of somebody thinking they were going to get a 1080 Ti. And this clearly, by no means, is a 1080 Ti. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this all back together and actually see this if I get the proper drivers. And I don't know how this will work. I've got to try it with the proper drivers, see if I can somehow get it to work, because when you install the drivers for the 1080 on the computer, it does not like it whatsoever. So let me go through and try to install the GeForce 7800 drivers and see how that goes.
So on a much sadder note, I have gone through and tried rebooting this multiple times. I was able to get the drivers for the GT 7800 installed. As you can see, it will do fine. I got them working, I got them installed on Windows, they were working fine, and so I had to reboot in order for them to take effect. And then as I was doing that, when I went to reboot the system, Windows no longer loads. So something is quite wrong with the card itself, and I'm going to take one quick look over it, final look over it, before we kind of settle down and I guess call the video to an end. So for this, as you can clearly see, I ended up getting the driver. It clearly works fine. Like, the video card is working fine, but for the most part, it is just when you boot into Windows, it crashes. The whole computer shuts off. It's a hard crash, and you don't get any input output. It just is completely off. So enjoy this mess. And that would be the crash. The computer is off. Got this on a tripod, but as you can see, everything's off. No fan spinning, no nothing. This is just dead. So I went through and was looking over the card. There's the card itself right here. And a couple things I noticed was there were some red markers. I'm trying to see if I can find one. Yeah, there were a couple red markers. Here they are. Here's one. forgive my shaky hand, but looks like there's actually damage to the board itself. Looks like some of the components have actually fallen off. As you can see right there, looks like next to that red little marker, there's one. There's a couple places where this has actually happened. As you can see, there's another one. It looks like this either was damaged or purposely damaged in order to replicate this, or to properly set this card up. And I think that either this card was damaged and they used a damaged card, somehow figured out how to get it to boot, and then when you actually installed the proper drivers and took advantage of everything, it no longer works. So that means that the card that we actually ended up getting was a broken card, and with a cooler that was missing pieces. So I'd say I'd even bump this down to probably this cost $10, meaning they profited $30 from the sucker. So I wouldn't be surprised if this whole little operation was just to basically just recycle cards that have been completely trashed and make like a pretty good penny from it. So that is that.
So that, my friends, has been the Geforce GTX 1080 Ti from Wish.com. And as you can clearly see, it is definitely a broken, number one, the card is actually broken, a broken card with its fair share of problems, with an aftermarket cooler missing pieces. So this guy was definitely a ripoff. So in conclusion, we had probably about $5, $6, $7 for the graphics card itself. It was broken, so it might have even been like trashed altogether. So you might have paid for $1 for the scrap value. You got an aftermarket cooler, which I still think holds some value, so you might be able to scrap that. It could just also been in the scrap, so that could have been like $2, and then the rest was $40 worth of profit. So that is clearly a quite good deal for whoever was selling these guys, not so much for me. So my $40 turns out to be a complete waste. This card is actually broken. It is physically has problems that I cannot get it to even work with the original drivers. Oh, and there's another problem here. So there's 1, 2, 3 little red markers with missing pieces. So this card definitely has problems. And I would say that this ended up being quite a big waste of money. And hopefully you guys got a little bit of entertainment from this, because my $40, I will bet money that I will not make this back from the ad revenue, and I probably won't be able to return this either. But as you can clearly see, not what was advertised, and they made a quite good penny. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with people. This channel is extremely small, so the $40 that I spent on this is coming out of my ad revenue, and since this channel is so small, this is the first video that I've ever done that I've actually used ad revenue to pay for the whole project of this video, and I probably will not be making that money back. I probably won't even make $1 back. So if you appreciate, I would really appreciate if you give the video a like and share it with your friends. But that is what happens when you buy stupid scams on the internet. That is 100% what happens. So as I said, thank you guys very much for watching. Please consider giving the video a like and sharing, because that money I won't get back, and it will maybe a possibility make it back if this gets a few views. But thank you guys very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're interested, because I want to do more stuff like this. So thank you. Goodbye.